YCN, your local view on WVBK-CA, serving Manchester, Londonderry, Vermont, and South Charlestown, New Hampshire, and WVBQ-LP, serving Charlestown, New Hampshire, and Rockingham, Vermont.
Coming up tonight on YCN, Hartford police arrested 2 men for a shooting that happened in November. See what the record numbers were released by the Fish and Game officials for hunting season. And meet Carol Monroe from New Hampshire Fast Roads. With more news and weather, stay tuned. It's time for YCN, your local view.
Now, your daily digest of the Dartmouth Lake Sunapee region. News, sports, weather, public affairs, and all that is happening in our area. The YCN News Hour, your local view.
Good evening and welcome to YCN. I'm David Carmichael. Hartford, Vermont police arrested 2 Hartford men on Wednesday for a shooting in the bedroom of a Truel Road home that happened in November of this year. Police arrested Joseph O'Keefe and David DeVoust. The alleged motive for the shooting was to silence a victim from talking to police on other criminal matters. No one was injured in the shooting. Both men are charged with aggravated assault, providing false information to police officers, unlawful mischief, obstruction of justice, and O'Keefe had an additional charge of possession of a deadly weapon while committing a felony. So we told you about the marijuana and gun bust yesterday that happened earlier this week. A large quantity of marijuana and several firearms were taken from Reggie Tatro's home off Route 14. Turns out, Tatro used to be a former White River selectman. The 63-year-old was stopped by police and was found with possession of marijuana with a 17-year-old juvenile. A search warrant was executed on Tuesday morning. The juvenile was charged with possession of marijuana and intent to distribute. ColbySawyer professor Dexter Burley of Newbury, New Hampshire, was a scholar in social sciences and the education department. He died peacefully at his home from leukemia Saturday evening. A traveler, sociologist, landscape designer, and life-changing teacher, was generous with his time and resources. Burley taught with compassion, and he began at ColbySawyer in 2005 and became part of the faculty in 2008. He taught courses in sociology and psychology, including individual and community, cross-cultural psychology, sociology of family, aging, and social forces in later life, and international sociology, adult psychology, and health studies capstone. Officials say preliminary numbers show it was a successful year for many New Hampshire hunters. The New Hampshire Fish and Game Department says an estimated 11,590 deer were killed, which is a 4% increase over last year's final numbers, and the highest amount since 2007. Last year's mild winter helped the deer population, and the number of deer killed has increased for the second year in a row. Hunters also took a record 806 black bears this fall. Also, there was a total of 1,024 turkeys killed, a 60% increase over last year's combined fall seasons. The Federal Emergency Management Agency has rejected buyouts for 33 Vermont properties damaged or destroyed by Tropical Storm Irene and spring flooding last year, and the state is considering appeals in some of these cases. Irene Recovery Officer Sue Minter said yesterday FEMA has approved 81 home buyouts. Under the program, the agency will pay up to 75% of the home's value, but the agency notified the state in a December 10th letter that 33 properties, including some mobile homes, were ineligible for the buyout program. After the break, we'll hear from Nancy Leash and Jean Chandler from the area choir.
The YCN News Hour continues in a moment.